Depending on your store's policy, you may or may not allow returns. Returns are generally for reasons if a customer purchased an item and it was defective, or they want to simply do an exchange or on it, or they just simply want their money back. And one of the requirements for a return is that we try to ensure that the customer actually has an invoice for it, because you don't want a particular customer to purchase it from another store and then come and return it at your store. In doing that, then pretty much they can get away with a lot of cash and never paid a dime for it. So what we're gonna do, there's two ways to pull up that invoice. You can just click on the invoice, next invoice here, or the get invoice button. Both of them will do the same thing, get invoice. And the invoice I want to pull up is 012109-5. I'm just going to hit go. And what it does, it actually loads the profile for that particular customer as well. These would be all the items that that customer purchased. And the one I want to find return on is the last invoice. And here it pulls up the four products that the person purchased. So I'm just going to hit this option up here. It says return an item. And it says please select the item that you want to return. So let's just say I'm going to return this for $345. I'm just going to select that. I'm going to hit next. And it says how many of this item do you want to return. I'm going to put 10 just to see what it does. It says you can only return one. So I'm going to hit 1, apply. Do you have more items to return? It detected that there are more items on that card, so I'm going to hit yes. And let's say I'm going to return this as well. It says, so here it shows you the return amount, which is 1, and they're going to be receiving a credit of $345. I'm going to hit next. I'm going to hit 1 for that. Do you have more items to return? I'm going to hit no. And it says, are you giving your customer cash, store credit, or company check? Now the difference is if you're giving the customer cash refund, then this would subtract that amount out of your cash drawer so that you can balance properly at the end of the shift. You have the option of giving a store credit so that the customer will have to come back at a later date to actually use the credit, or they can actually use it the same day. And then a company check. We pretty much use as a safe practice is giving out checks for any item over $100. So we try to avoid having that amount of cash in the cash drawer to minimize theft. So we use this option as a company check if the company is going to issue a check for that client. So here I'm just going to select credit refund. So you're giving store credit. I'm going to hit next. Are you sure you want to return these items? And I'm going to hit yes. And this would allow us to process that return. Once the return is being processed, you're going to get a receipt that the customer is going to have to sign, so you can keep a record of that return. And it's going to say your return is successful. It's going to bring you back to the main invoice screen. And that's how you do returns.